All right. It says I'm recording. Just gotta make sure of that real quick. Yep. Welcome everyone to the first episode of the Unnamed Sports Podcast. I'm your host Brian Kirkpatrick, alongside with my other host Corey Moore here, and we had this idea for about 2 years now, right?
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that. And we're finally getting around to it. The Unnamed Sports Cop Podcast. We're going to be going through, giving you information and our opinions on mostly every sport: MLB, NHL, NBA, NFL. You name it, we probably have it here.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add on before I announce
No, I
a
mean,
little competition here?
even even though we have had this idea for 2 years, we still haven't thought of a name. So
Yes,
that's up to you guys here.
yes, that is up to you guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a challenge, sort of, where our followers and viewers are going to get to decide our name. So in order to enter, just add us at our Twitter handle, which is, I gotta check this real quick.
Unnamed Sports One.
There it is, Unnamed Sports One. Most basic name out there right now, but hopefully
Yeah.
that'll change. We gotta pick a good name here, or you can comment on our YouTube channel. Make sure to go subscribe to us. It's also Unnamed Sports Podcast. Um, yeah, pretty self-explanatory there if you can find it. If you can't find it,
If
just
you can't find it, I don't know how you're watching this video.
like for real,
Like
you're
unless you're on
you're
Spotify
probably
right
you're
now.
probably one of my YouTube subscribers who found out about this through me. Which, if you want to go find it, go to PGH Death Winners Freedom Tower video. Check the comments, and there's a comment there. You can go subscribe to us there. Um, but yeah, so do we want to do an introduction of ourselves here, like favorite sports teams and like that kind of knowledge?
Okay, I guess I'll start then.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so my name is Corey. Am I'm mostly a basketball fan of any other sport. Like to be honest, I don't really have that much knowledge of all sports. It's kind of a little knowledge and then a lot of basketball knowledge, which Brennan kind of lacks. And my
That's
favorite
true.
team there is the Houston Rockets. Then for football, it's the Denver Broncos. For baseball, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates, and for the NHL, it would be the St. Louis Blues. So we got a whole range there, favorite teams.
Yeah, and I'm Brian Kirkpatrick. I do have a YouTube channel, PGH Death Winner. That's probably where you're coming from if you're
Don't
watching these first couple
subscribe.
of episodes. Uh, don't subscribe to that. Subscribe to this, though. I will say this will be much better. Um, I want to say, a broader range of knowledge. Not like Corey. He's specifically mostly the NBA. I just have a lot of general knowledge of mostly the NFL and MLB. There's some NBA, some NHL there. I am a Buffalo sports fan, so the Bills and Sabres, along with the Pittsburgh Pirates for baseball and the Indiana Pacers for basketball. I root for the sucky teams. All three of them are terrible.
I mean, we're both in a rebuild. Well, the
Yeah,
Pacers should be in a rebuild, but
that we don't
not
do
quite.
anything. But besides the Pacers, the Buffalo Bills are in the playoffs. Hopefully they don't lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of basketball, do we want to get into our first story here of Klay Thompson returning to the NBA after 2.5 seasons?
Yeah. Right at the beginning of the week, on Monday, I believe it was, he made his comeback against the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's playing limited minutes right now
Mm-hmm.
in his first few games, but he's not doing horrible. He's doing all
No,
right. I mean, obviously there's going to be adjustment there
right.
coming back, but
Has he
he's
had
doing
any
okay.
games since the Bucks game? Has Golden State played? I have not.
Yeah. So he played against the Bulls. The
Okay.
Warriors played against the Bulls, and they benched Curry for that.
Oh,
They
really?
rested him.
Okay.
And yesterday, they played the Timberwolves,
All right. Because I have his stats for
and
the first three games: the Cavs, Grizzlies, and Bucks. They're not bad. He's played 21 minutes in those three games with a total of
mm,
42 points. He has not been bad. And I mean, if you want to talk about a snub for the NBA 75 All Star team, this is him right here, Klay Thompson.
yeah.
Definitely a lock. Should
Obviously,
have
I
been.
mean, historically, Clay is a amazing player, great. and it's good to see him back on the floor. I mean, I watched the game on Monday against the Cavs, and it was just good to see him out there playing. So
Yeah, the 5-time NBA All Star, just overall,
Sunday, my mistake.
Sunday, yeah. But I mean, hey, he went out there. He's playing. He's back. The Golden State offense, they have some work to do. Still shooting under 50% from the looks of it. But with Klay Thompson coming back, that deadly 3-point shot coming back into that starting five, hey, they have a chance to run away with the NBA title. Could take down Brooklyn, probably. And,
Yeah. I mean,
That's-
they have their issues. I mean, I think all of the contenders right now have their problems. We'll really have to wait until Draymond Green comes back for Golden State to evaluate how the
definitely
team
a big part of that.
But I think it is
State
promising.
Definitely, the Golden State Warriors have to be favorites to come out of the West here. Splash Brothers, they're getting healthy at the right time too, entering the NBA playoffs.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, yeah, that game against the Cavaliers was really fun to watch. Klay had a couple highlights there. He had
if you want to pull up the highlight,
he had the one really solid one.
The one, yeah, here.
Show of you
open link, a new tab here. We can pull this up. This ad, I gotta edit this out. That'll be fun. But yeah, he took down the entire Cavs team on this dunk, and this is just impressive. This is what the Warriors have been missing for 2.5 years. Everyone counted them out, and then Klay Thompson goes in, does something like this. Golden State, their dynasty is not over yet. Boom.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously they've had a great season without Klay to start. I mean, they were the 1 seed in the Western Conference for a while. They're sitting at the 2 seed right now behind the Suns. I think a lot of people probably have the Warriors above the Suns in the playoff race.
For sure.
You would see, but no, they can definitely make some noise in the playoffs this year, and yeah, it's good to see the
Klay
Splash Bros
Thompson
back together.
is saying, I hope people keep doubting us. I don't think people are going to doubt them anymore. The Warriors are on fire. I mean, besides that offense, the defense rocking and on all cylinders. If the offense isn't putting up points, I think Golden State still has a great chance to win. They're the best team in the West, in my opinion, right now.
Yeah. And I mean, just to move on and kind of just finish up here with the NBA real quick. A few trades made, a trade and an almost trade made in this past week with Cam Reddish being traded from the Atlanta Hawks to the New York Knicks for Kevin Knox and a highly protected first-round pick. Brennan, how do you think this is going to help the Knicks particularly? Because we don't really know how it would
the Knicks... I have not really followed the Knicks all that often. I've only seen them when they have played the Pacers, and of course the Pacers have choked leads to them multiple times. They've looked pretty average. I mean, you can't really base a team off of how they play the Indiana Pacers. I mean, we're not good, but
the Knicks are on a 3-game win streak right now. RJ Barrett's been on a bit of a
RJ Barrett has been pretty good.
Killing it. He had the game winner the other night. And against, I think it was Celtics.
Now, it was a
great shot. Great to see.
Yeah, this isn't a move that's going to put the Knicks over the top or anything.
Really. I think this is big for the Knicks. I mean,
really.
Yeah, Cam
what are Cam Reddish's stats like for the past?
Cam Reddish is definitely, for anyone who knows, he was a great player in high school. He went to Duke with Zion Williamson and RJ Barrett. So he already has those connections there with RJ. That would probably build his chemistry a bit. He said that he kind of wants to go back to like his high school form because I mean on Atlanta he's just been kind of a role player. He's been benched most of the time, not getting a ton of minutes, but when he has gotten time, he's done some great things. And no, I mean kind of an up and down career for him so far.
Right.
He definitely has the potential to be great, and I think the Knicks can help him unlock that potential, especially with Tom Thibodeau as their coach and his good friend of RJ Barrett.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how Thibodeau utilizes him in this game. He was a bench player. How will he adjust from coming off the bench and possibly being into the Knicks starting five. I mean, the Knicks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's safe to
Yeah,
say they've had.
that's another thing we'll have to. That's another thing we'll have to look out for because
For sure.
Thibodeau definitely like he does want his young players to earn that starting spot most of the time.
Right.
So he probably won't. In my guess, he probably wouldn't start as the starting player there. I don't think that would really change long. But he definitely has the talent to be at least there a solid six man for them there, along with Emmanuel quickly. And I think this just gives the Knicks more depth and can
Yeah.
definitely
This has
make them
definitely
better,
been a bit of a
especially in years to
disappointing
come.
season for them. I mean, after getting the 4 seed right last year in the
Yeah,
Eastern
yeah, yeah.
Conference, they have not played that well as they did last year. I mean, the Knicks kind of a disappointing franchise throughout the 2010s. You thought of a turnaround last year, and it's
Mm.
kind of been the case this year. Not really. They've been pretty mediocre. But a player like Cam Reddish definitely should help the Knicks get a couple more wins under their belt and compete for that hard Eastern Conference seeding.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I could be wrong. I believe he will be playing tonight
Who do the Knicks
against
have?
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Could be wrong, but no. Either
Right.
way, he'll definitely be in soon, and he'll make an impact for the team. I think pretty immediately people will be able to see that he's gonna be a good player for them in the future, and I think he definitely wants to be able to unlock the potential that he had coming out of high school.
Yeah,
People
for
thought he
sure.
had coming out of high school, and I think he'll definitely be a star in the future, especially with the Knicks. As for the Hawks in this trade, I don't really know what they're doing here. Kevin Knox hasn't had the best career so
No, he
far,
really hasn't.
and that's really all they're getting here because this is a top top 18 protected pick from the Hornets. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it's
this
considering how
is
the Hornets aren't too far out from the playoff. I mean, they're in the play-in conversation right now at the
right.
7th seed. I think they definitely would probably fall into that top 18. So
We'll have to
I
wait
don't
and
really
see. I mean,
know.
the Hawks made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. This is definitely a weird move for them to make this point in the season. I mean, if you take a look at the NBA standings here, let me pull that up. Uh, you can see the Hawks not even in the top five in the
Yeah,
conference.
and that's my big thing for the Hawks here. Sitting at the 12 seed in the
12, yeah.
Eastern Conference, they need a playoff push. They need to make a push for the playoffs here.
Mm-hmm.
Toward
That's for sure.
towards the second half of the regular season, that they need to get in that play-in conversation because they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and they are nowhere near that this year right
No, there
now.
are
And
three teams worse than
I
them
don't think
in the Eastern
Kevin
Conference
Knox
right now.
really raises their ceiling as far as that's
No.
concerned. So I don't really know why they would go for that,
Oh well. Maybe it's
but
the end of
we'll
the
see.
Hawks' 1 year run. We'll see what
Yeah,
they
yeah,
do.
yeah. I mean, I hope not. I
Is
mean,
Trey Young out the door?
Hawks did make some good noise last year, and I think it's just kind of showing that some of their players, some of their decisions that they've made haven't been the best. I mean, I think John Collins, clearly, at least in the regular season, is not playing up to the way that he did in the playoffs last season. So,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
that changes a lot, especially considering how much money they gave him
Yep.
to stay with the team. So, if I mean, if he does well in the playoffs, great, but they have to make it there first.
Yeah.
So,
Sitting at 17 and 25. There's definitely still a chance for them to get in.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Playing, they're 2 games out of the Knicks for that play-in.
Yeah,
So
but no, right, this year
we'll
Kevin
have to
Knox with the
see.
Knicks averaged I think 8.5 minutes in his 13 games that he played. So
Yeah. I mean,
not doing great. He
no.
hasn't had a great career thus far, but I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes.
We'll just yeah.
Yeah,
Best of luck to Kevin
he's
Knox,
young as
Cam
well, so
Reddish.
he's young as well. So he might be able to
There could
make
be a
some noise
turnaround
in
there.
the future, but we'll just have to
Have
see.
to wait and see on that. Definitely an interesting move made by these two teams here.
Yeah, And then the other trade, the other uh, almost trade made this week was with Bol going to the Cavaliers, and then that was canceled. So they
Right.
did not want him anymore. And
You don't see
yeah,
a lot of trades getting canceled these days.
yeah.
Definitely interesting.
My mistake. I keep mixing up teams today.
Now you're
Keep
good
talking
though.
about the Cavs. It was the Pistons he was going to,
Okay.
and but no, there was medical issues with Bol, and
Yeah.
yeah,
COVID related?
they no,
No.
he failed his physical,
Ah,
so
okay.
so they were like, no, we're not doing that,
Right.
and so he's still on the Nuggets for now, not getting any minutes still, but
It'll be interesting to see if they can trade him before the trade deadline.
yeah.
For sure.
Speaking of the trade deadline, any big names you're hoping to get traded here, Ryan,
Well, I
as the
mean,
trade deadline approaches?
there are a couple names that I would love to see traded. Sabonis, Miles
You
Turner.
want him gone,
I want a clean house, bro. We're sitting at 15 and
really?
28. There's no way that this team can make a push. We are the
Well, I mean,
definition of mediocrity.
Speaking of your Pacers, they thinking about acquiring Gordon Hayward for Miles
Mm,
Turner. Do you think that could change things around for them?
no. You're trading one of the
No.
best defensive players in the NBA right now for Gordon Hayward. I want picks. I want young player. I don't want a Gordon Hayward for a Miles Turner. I want
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
picks. I want first round picks for that man. He's gonna win Defensive Player of the Year. Knock on wood. Whichever team he ends up on, even if he's still a Pacer. I don't think there's a way to turn this season around for us. I think we just got to sell, rebuild the team. We have our coach Rick Carlisle. I like him. I think some of the decisions he's made late game have been questionable. We've been blowing leads left and right. We blew a lead to the Nets a couple weeks ago. That was embarrassing to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Even for as good as the Nets are, you just can't do that. Especially with Kyrie back, that was going to be a statement win, and we couldn't hold on.
Yeah.
I want,
Well, I mean that's all we really got for the NBA
yeah.
this week, honestly. But as the trade deadline keeps approaching,
We'll let you guys know
February
on
10th is the
trades.
deadline. We'll hopefully hear some news about players like Ben Simmons and Miles Turner. Maybe both Miles Turner
Maybe
and
Dame
DeMarcus
Dalla
Sabonis in this situation.
getting away.
Did you just say Dame?
I don't know. I heard he wants to stay
That's
more.
another thing that happened this week. Actually, Damian Lillard
Yeah,
was announced that he had surgery, and they are going to shut him down for 6 weeks and reevaluate him based on how the team is doing
right.
in the standings. And I think everybody kind of has a consensus at this point that probably means Damian Lillard won't play for the rest of the season.
For
They're
sure.
probably going to go for a pick and see how it goes from there. I don't think Damian Lillard should be happy with how the Trailblazers are moving
Yeah,
right
but
now.
he wants to stay there. I mean, I don't know why, but
I don't think a draft prospect in this season. I don't think that would make them any more likely to win a championship, which is like where they were fighting for just a few years ago
right.
in the Western Conference Finals
Isn't
2 or 3 years
McCollum
ago.
also out? Collapsed lung?
McCollum is in a lot of trade talks, so
Really?
like.
He has a collapsed lung right
uh,
now, right?
mhm.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see, but
That'll
yeah.
be interesting to see what the Pacers do, sitting in 10th place, 17-25. Similar record to the Pacers.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No idea.
Now let's move on. Before we get into the big NFL stuff
Right.
of the
Big
weekend of the
playoffs coming up.
big playoff stuff, we got to talk about a little bit of drama
Right,
with
right.
for first. Which drama do you want to start with, Bren?
I don't know. Whatever one you want to. If it's
All
the
right, let's go to Djokovic. Just kind of
Djokovic,
move past it real
Djokovic.
quick.
Right.
Neither of us are big tennis fans,
No,
right?
not
But
really.
it's kind of hard to ignore this in the news here. So
Yeah.
Novak Djokovic, obviously,
Unvaccinated.
in the beginning of the week, he was given a special visa that allowed him to go to Australia despite not being vaccinated, and that was overturned by the government. because they said that he didn't have a valid medical reason to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't let him go. Then he got another visa, changed that around,
Yep.
and then yesterday he was told that he could not go once again. So he will not be playing in the
I thought he
Australian Open.
lost because he is out of the country now. He left before he got deported, and I thought he lost in the first round of the Australian Open.
He did
Correct me
not get
if
to
I'm wrong.
play,
He didn't. Okay.
as far as I know.
I thought he did. I
Um,
thought I heard somewhere he did, but I do know he did leave Australia before he got deported, so he is out of the country now. But what a situation! I mean, who gave him the visa in the first place? And I think that was a bad part of the Australian government not working
yeah,
together.
and
Either you let him in or you don't. You don't do that.
yeah, and as I'm looking here, it's saying that he might be barred from the French Open as well due to not having a vaccine.
That'll be
And
interesting. Hmm.
it's just a whole
It's a big
problem here.
mess right now. I
Big,
mean,
yeah, it's a big
I'm
mess.
not. We're not trying to get
I mean,
political
obviously
here.
one of the best tennis players in the world, if not the best, and it's just unfortunate to see how people not willing to get a vaccine or
Being
not being
affected.
able to. I mean, I'm not one to tell anyone here that
Right. We're
if
not
you
trying to make this political
should.
here.
I'm not trying to say you should
Right.
or shouldn't get the vaccine, but I am saying if you want to play tennis, you have to follow the rules,
Right.
and I mean, it depends on what matters more to you. Like if you want to play your career, then you
Go
have
do
to get the
that.
vaccine because that's what the countries are requiring. And if it matters more to you about your opinions of not getting the vaccine, then okay. But I mean, I
Right.
don't know. It just I think it was fair for the Australian government to not let him in because he shouldn't have had any exemption there that anyone else didn't have.
Hmm.
So I understand that, and I would understand the same way if the French Open also did not let him play due to France's vaccine laws there as well.
Right. I just think this situation was a mess. I mean, he shouldn't have gotten visa anyways if he knew or if they knew that they weren't going to let him in the first place. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's whatever. He's out of the country now, and we'll see what happens with the French Open. We'll keep you guys updated on that situation there.
Yep.
But anyways, you want to
Okay.
get into the second piece of drama? This one I researched. It was a lot, honestly. We got a whole timeline of this. The Evander Kane drama of what's going on in the NHL right now. Ugh, what a situation it's in. I found an entire timeline of all the stuff he has done, and it is crazy. Thank God he is off the Buffalo Sabres right now. Let me tell you, I know he's traded a couple of years ago, or off the team for a couple of years now, but still,
Yeah.
man, this man is a piece of work.
Yeah.
What do you think? I
And without getting into too much detail, if you want to just lay out what happened there.
I mean, yeah. So, do you want me to go over the entire story, like everything that's gone on?
Yeah,
All
don't
right.
give too much detail. We don't need all that.
All
But
right. 2014, he's accused of assault on a Vancouver resident, and police investigated, did not charge him, but Kane called out his team at the time, the Winnipeg Jets, saying about how they didn't support him through the investigation of him assaulting someone in Vancouver. Then in February 2016, he purposely misses practice and is suspended by the Buffalo Sabres. And then later, he attended the NBA All-Star Game and told head coach Dan Bilesma and GM Tim Murray that he would not be attending practice so that he could go to the NBA All-Star Game. Kane later comes out and says he will learn from the situation. Well, later in August of 2016, Kane is accused of a sexual assault, but no criminal complaint was filed against him. And then later, he was arrested for grabbing 3 women by the hair and neck at a Buffalo nightclub, and the judge dismisses all the charges against him in condition that he stays out of trouble. Well, 3 years later, November 2019, a Las Vegas casino files a lawsuit against Kane over an unpaid gambling debt of $500,000. And then in January 2021, he files for bankruptcy with over $26 million in debt. Later that year, in July and August, his divorced wife makes several Instagram posts about how Kane bet on his own NHL games. NHL investigated. They did not find any evidence of him doing that, however. Well, later in August, a federal bankruptcy judge allows for a go-ahead for discovery in a lawsuit filed against Kane by Hope Parker, who alleges that he pulled out of an agreement to pay her $2 million if she aborted her pregnancy. September 2021, I know this is quite a bit, his divorced wife, as I said, Anna Kane, files for a domestic violence restraining order on Kane, which included sexual assault and domestic battery charges against Kane. And then we get to October 2021. The Athletic's Danny Kaplan files an extensive report with further detail into Kuechly's 5-year-old lawsuit against Kane after Kane filed for request a federal bankruptcy case to partially lift the stay. November 2021, Kane claims Anna lied about the pregnancy, asks judge for full custody of the daughter. And in January 2021, Kane is placed on unconditional waivers by the San Jose Sharks for violating the AHL's COVID protocols. And then we get into the Connor McDavid coming out and supporting Evander Kane through all this. Wow.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say is.
Yeah, it's just I mean, none of it was positive. I mean,
definitely not.
So it's just a shaky situation, especially considering. I mean, he did come off a great season last year with the San Jose Sharks, and now he's just not playing. Probably not going to play anytime soon. I wouldn't be surprised if Kane got a similar. I mean, I'm hoping he doesn't get a similar treatment to Antonio Brown.
I actually compared that at my notes over here. I compared that, like the Connor McDavid, comparing him to Tom Brady, the GOATs coming and telling these troubled players to come play for them. And we'll see. I mean, Edmonton Oilers, they definitely need the help. I mean, this team has the two best players in the NHL, in my opinion, on that team, and they're still not that good.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll just have to see how it is. I mean, obviously with the
Antonio Brown situation as of now, it's not going great. It's just I don't know. I mean, if this guy can come back and play well and also become a better person and everything and make up for everything poor that he's done in the past, that would be fantastic. But we just have to see.
As of now, I don't think this man should touch the ice again. He's just a cancer in locker rooms and everything he's done. I mean, missing practice to go to an NBA All-Star game. You know you have a season, man. Come on. And that's probably the least troublesome.
I mean, exactly. I mean, the fact that obviously there's horrible stuff in his personal life, right. But I mean, if we're going strictly on hockey as well, I mean, he's obviously not a great presence there on the team either.
He's breaking COVID protocols and doing all that stuff.
I mean, if he was really that important, I mean, he was the Sharks Player of the Year last season. I mean, if it was really that important for them to keep him around, then there would have been more.
I mean, the Sharks are not a good team, so I mean that takes that Player of the Year with a grain of salt, but.
Clearly, the Sharks, at least, other teams he's played for, have thought of his behavior as unnecessary, and they don't want to deal with that. And I think that's probably the way a lot of the other NHL teams are probably going to think of it in the same situation.
Right. Well, I mean, speaking of Antonio Brown, I mean, we want to get into the NFL playoffs now. I mean, I know he's not in the NFL currently, but his former teams are, all three of them actually. Maybe four if you count the Buffalo Bills. Two of them won, two of them did not. Do you want to take over on some of the games? Let's start. I guess we'll start at the 4:30 Cincinnati Bengals, Las Vegas Raiders. What were your reactions to that initial game?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to watch this game. I was doing other stuff that day, but it was. I mean, obviously, just looking at the score, it was a close game, and the Bengals came up on top. And I mean, it is what it is. I don't think a lot of people really expected for the Raiders to win there.
I mean, they had their chance. Did you not see the controversial call where Joe Burrow threw the ball out of bounds? The whistle blew. Tyler Boyd, they call it a touchdown. Yes. I mean, if you take away that touchdown, it's a tie game.
Yeah. I mean,
Raiders just lead by one. But... Be interesting. I will give the Raiders credit, though. Rick Bisaccia did an amazing job with all the drama the Raiders had this season. For him to lead that team into the playoffs, I think he deserves that head coaching job. They keep Derek Carr around, too. I mean, get some receivers help. I think the Raiders could be a pretty good team. Will they rival the Chiefs for that division? Probably not. We'll have to see what the Chargers do. The Bengals, though, congrats. You won your first playoff game, 31 years. Joe Burrow looks amazing. That defense, better hope that Derrick Henry does not play this coming Saturday at 4:30.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes.
That might be a bit of an issue. But I think the Bengals have the offense to go to the AFC Championship.
Yeah, they definitely have the talent and the ability to move on past the divisional round.
You get Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins.
If Derrick Henry were to make a return, though, I don't.
The thing is, though, with Derrick Henry, he's coming off of a pretty serious injury. I don't think he's going to get 30-plus touches a game. And if you force...
Sure, but I think he still would make a definite impact here. And I think it's already pretty much a close matchup between Cincinnati and Tennessee here without Henry, and
it'll be a close game.
There,
I mean, if Derrick Henry's there, that opens up the Tennessee offense so much more. I mean, the Bengals have a pretty weak secondary; it's been shaky. They're going up against A.J. Brown and Julio Jones with Ryan Tannehill. If you ask Tannehill to do too much, maybe the Bengals can sneak off with a win. But you're getting Derrick Henry now; it's going to open up Tennessee's playbook. I'm going to say Tennessee comes out on top if Henry plays, but I like that Bengals offense. I think they can make some noise. Joe Mixon, not going to get involved in the run game. Tennessee has a very good run defense this year. The secondary's been a little shaky outside of Byard, but, I mean, I think the Bengals receivers can do it. Joe Burrow will put up a fight. And, yeah, I think the Bengals have a chance, but if Derrick Henry plays, I'm going with the Titans to win this game. Now... the other game on Saturday, we have to talk about it. The Buffalo Bills. Oh, man. To all the Patriots fans watching, now you know how it feels to be a fan of the AFC East.
Yeah, on Saturday, the reason why I wasn't able to go see the Bengals and Raiders game is because I was busy doing other things. And one of the people that was there with me whenever I was doing something else, he's a big Patriots fan.
Oh,
the
really?
whole time, like we were in the car, and he was just talking about like how he thinks they have a chance against the Bills.
Well, boy,
just really
wrong.
exciting. He's like, I love Mac Jones. He's gonna do great.
The Bills' offense, the first ever perfect offensive game in NFL history. No punts, no turnovers, no turnover on downs.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And
seven drives, 7 touchdowns.
The final score of 47-17 is actually a bit misleading because
the two garbage time touchdowns by the Patriots. Yeah. They scored on the Bills' second-string defense there. I mean, Mac Jones played hell of a game. Props to him. Give him credit. Micah Hyde, though, on that interception. That was the game changer right there. If Mac Jones gets that touchdown, I think it's a bit closer of a game. I think the Bills do still come out on top, but definitely the tides would have shifted. But Micah Hyde, what an amazing player. Got snubbed from the Pro Bowl. Second-team All-Pro, though. And that Bills defense, number one, they hung in with the Patriots. I mean, Patriots offense, not that good. But the Bills defense, they showed up. They stepped up. But the main story here is obviously the Bills offense going 7 for 7, 7 touchdowns, putting up 47 points. I mean, you literally cannot ask for a better game out of Josh Allen, Devin Singletary, Dawson Knox. The whole offense got involved. Gabe Davis caught a touchdown. Emmanuel Sanders came back. It's just unbelievable what this team did. Now they have to go into Arrowhead, play the Chiefs. That should be hell of a game. I mean, Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen, probably arguably the two best quarterbacks in the league.
And the real question there is, I mean, he said it earlier, but I don't know if you guys remember here. Brennan's a big Bills fan.
Yeah.
How do you think you're going to do against the Chiefs? I mean, they were looking good last night against the Steelers, and
well, keep in mind the Bills had their offensive showing against a top 5 defense. The Chiefs did not. Now, does that mean the Chiefs are slouches on defense and on offense? No. The Chiefs are probably the best team in the AFC right now. I'm definitely interested to see on how the Bills attack that defense. They moved Chris Jones in, and they're a different team than they were in Week 5. The Chiefs have stepped up. They've shown that they can beat contenders, and I think the Bills, they got to expose the Chiefs secondary again. The difference this time between the Patriots defense and the Chiefs defense, though, is the speed. Kansas City has more speed to cover those receivers. I think you still need to get Isaiah McKenzie involved in the slot. Cole Beasley should have a good game. Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, Devin Singletary, I think he plays a big role in this game. It's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to come down to whatever quarterback plays better. What defensive player is going to turn over the ball and get another chance for that offense. I mean, Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen, Sunday Night Football. You can't get any better than this for a divisional player.
I mean, overall, it should be a good rematch from last season. And
hey, the Bills, they've proved that they can go in an Arrowhead and win. They did that Week 5, but this is a different Chiefs team. They got to step up at practice this week. I think they can do it. I think the momentum, the Bills won 5 in a row. The Chiefs, they lost to the Bengals in a shootout. How will they do against a Buffalo Bills offense, which I think is better than the Bengals offense right now? I know that's a bit of a hot take, but you saw what the Bills did on Saturday. I mean, just an absolute destruction of top 5 defense.
Well, I know you love the Bills, but we got to move on.
Yep, right. I can spend the whole rest of the podcast talking about them. Let's go.
Next game was yesterday.
Tampa Bay and Philadelphia.
Philadelphia and Tampa Bay.
I mean, was this game really even in question? Tom Brady's the GOAT, even without Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette, all those offensive weapons missing. Even Tristan Wirfs goes down in the game. Tom Brady still played a hell of a game against the Eagles. I really don't think there was a question on who would win this game. Tampa Bay has the best run defense in the NFL, probably. The Eagles are a run-centric offense. They forced Jalen Hurts to throw the ball, and he couldn't. I mean, he had a couple of interceptions. I mean, he was making bad reads all night long, all afternoon. I mean, I really don't know what else to say.
I wouldn't be too hard on Jalen Hurts.
No, for sure.
I didn't think he played horrible against this defense, but no, it was pretty obvious that Tampa Bay would come.
Tampa Bay was definitely the better team in that game. I mean, really not much else to say, but what I can say is about the next game, the 49ers and the Cowboys. I mean,
on Nickelodeon.
What a game, honestly.
Young Sheldon on the sidelines.
Giving out the rules. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles playing football. The slime all over the place. That was a game.
Yeah,
and I mean,
it's hilarious. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the videos there, but no, you should definitely look up some of the highlights coming from the Nickelodeon team.
Yeah,
rather
I turned the Nickelodeon broadcast on in the second half to see what it was about. It was really interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
It was.
No, just the animations of that was they were pretty comedic. And,
for real.
Well, I hope Nickelodeon sticks around. As
they will.
Wild card
they
games.
will.
So.
I mean, the Dallas Cowboys killed themselves, man.
Unfortunate
penalty after penalty. Even for the 49ers, too, they had a lot of penalties, but that was the big question from Dallas. This team was undisciplined all year. They couldn't get it together. And what was that call by Mike McCarthy on the final game, or the final play of the game, where Dak Prescott runs a QB sneak? He got the first down, put them inside the red zone, but you got to hand the ball back to the ref so you can snap it. Even with 1 second left on the clock, there's still a chance you come back, you win. But that was dumb. You can't.
I mean, it was unfortunate. I mean, I don't know if you've been following news about that, but No, I mean basically they just didn't really have any time to like lay out a plan, play there, and
They didn't, but
just
you got to give the ball back to that ref. And he
yeah.
can't be going in doing that because you didn't give the ball back to him. The 49ers, they played tough. They almost blew it. And if they would have lost, there would have been talk today about what happened when they blew that lead to the Cowboys. They were up 17 nothing at a point, I think.
Yep.
I mean, they couldn't get the first down with Deebo Samuel. That gave the ball back to the Cowboys. That false start killed them. If they would have gotten that too if they wouldn't have false started. Jimmy G got the first down. They didn't get it. They had to punt the ball away. Dallas drove down the field, and if it wasn't for their miscoaching, this would be a completely different game.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm definitely rooting for the 49ers in some capacity here for the rest of the season.
For sure. They have a great offense.
Deebo Samuel, one of my big fantasy players.
Deebo Samuel, he had a great night in DFS for me. Yahoo Fantasy.
So yeah, I'm rooting for him there as well. And,
yeah, I hope the 49ers do well. But I will tell you who did not do well for me in my DFS fantasy lineup, and that was Najee Harris and Pat Freiermuth of the Pittsburgh Steelers. That game, ugh. Yeah, the TJ Watt touchdown, and that was it.
Yeah. And Brennan and I know a lot of Steelers fans, right? So this was definitely sweet to watch. After they got the touchdown, our phones got blown up. I don't know about you, Brennan.
Yeah,
but I got blown up by a ton of people just like, oh yes, we got the defensive touchdown. It's just it was just funny to watch from there. And
I mean, after that defensive touchdown, the switch
went
flicked
down
on for the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes coming out, playing like he was last season, the year before, turned on his 2018 to 2020 form. Wow. I mean, this is the offense. That was a statement to the Buffalo Bills right there. Like, hey, we're ready for you. We're coming for you. Chiefs Kingdom, baby. And they showed that.
I mean, unfortunately for Steelers fans, or maybe fortunately, you don't know. I mean, honestly, I get a lot of mixed reactions here. Like, sometimes people love him, sometimes people hate him. But Ben Roethlisberger
for you.
Probably gone. So
yeah, he's probably going to retire. I mean, hey, there's a lot of quarterbacks out in the market. I don't think they go draft one. Aaron Rodgers possibly to the Steelers. That would be a good fit. Although I think they go more of a mobile kind of quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is going to be 39 next year, I think. We'll have to see what they do. Maybe Russell Wilson goes there. It could also be in the running for Deshaun Watson if all his legal stuff gets cleared. I mean,
as sad as it may be, the Steelers definitely did not deserve this win yesterday. I mean,
they didn't deserve to be in the playoffs.
I mean, the one play with Travis Kelce like wide open for the touchdown. I mean, that's just lazy defense, and it's just.
I mean, the Steelers' defense faltered late in the season. You can't have that happen, especially coming around playoff time. They were lucky to get into the playoffs. They almost lost to the Ravens XFL squad. I mean, if it weren't for the Colts, they wouldn't be in this situation. I mean, congrats, Steelers. You made the playoffs. Sent Big Ben out in a bit of a shaky way. He put up 2 touchdowns, though. I mean, Najee Harris had his first fumble of the season, thank God. It wasn't during the fantasy football season, and it was in the playoffs. He still hurt my DFS fantasy team, though. Not happy with you, Najee, right now, even though you did carry me to the fantasy football championship. But yeah. Hey, there is a game on tonight, though. Rams versus Cardinals, right. Yeah, let me take a look at that. Arizona, 52% chance to win, but Los Angeles is favored, -4.5. The over and under, 49.5 points. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, I'm not liking Arizona in this matchup.
I'm not. I don't know. We'll have to see how the Rams defense plays. It comes down to Matthew Stafford. If Matthew Stafford is on, the Rams win easily. If not, the Cardinals could be in for a potential upset here, although I really don't know how much of an upset it is. 4 versus 5 seeds here. I'm definitely taking the over, though. 49.5 points. It's going to be a shootout. Kyler Murray. I don't think D-Hop is playing, though. Is he?
I can figure that out real
I
quick.
got to check that.
Dude, why is my Google like all messed up? Like, DeAndre Hopkins.
I
I don't want to
I don't know if
click
the
on
injury
this.
report is out, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's official whether or not.
Okay.
No.
Well, assume D-Hop isn't playing.
Yeah, either way, honestly, I don't.
I think Kyler Murray can do enough. I mean, he still has Christian Kirk, Rondale Moore, James Conner. He has a lot of.
I mean,
good
I
weapons.
I don't have any faith in Kyler Murray after my
Really?
after 2 seasons ago in fantasy. It's just messed up. I traded Josh Allen for him, and
Right.
whenever he was going on a tear, and then he failed me. So I
mean,
think I have no faith.
This isn't the fantasy football playoffs, though. This is the NFL playoffs. Kyler Murray making.
I have
his
no faith in him here.
playoff
The
debut.
Rams are a solid team.
I don't know. I don't think I have. I have more faith in Kyler Murray than Matthew Stafford, but I think Matthew Stafford has the better weapons around him, the better defense to help him succeed. Hey, the Rams blew a lead to the San Francisco 49ers last night, so maybe the 49ers...
That's the first time they've ever done that, though.
Right, but it happened week 18, heading into the playoffs. How do you feel about your team blowing lead right before the playoffs, right before you have to go up and play a division rival, who you split the series with?
Sure, but that's clearly an outlier. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that the Rams coach, that was the first time he has ever lost, like
after leading at halftime.
After leading at halftime.
Sean
So like,
coach.
There's.
I'm gonna take the Rams. Cliff Kingsbury in the second half of the season.
I'm not worried. They have a better defense. They have a better. I mean, they have good potential on offense here. If there's issues with like DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Watt, like. It's just
J.J. Watt's coming back tonight. He is playing. I don't know how much of an impact he will make. He is pretty old. I don't know. Chandler Jones should play well. We'll have to see. I think the Rams come out in a handed victory unless Matthew Stafford turns into the Detroit Lions Matthew Stafford, where he could never get his team over the top. He's shown that this season. Will he show it tonight when it matters most in the playoffs? We'll have to wait and see. Yeah. I'm going Rams here. I think the Rams win 34-21. I think it's a pretty handy 34-24. I think they win by 10. I think Kyler Murray has an alright game. I think the Rams defense gets enough to get it done.
I mean, I think the score. I think the score might end up being close. Like they might only win by like a touchdown, but
right.
I don't see them like. I don't see it being like very favored for the Cardinals here. By the way, and I mean, no matter what the outcome is, at least in my opinion, neither of them are going to beat the Bucs. So
I don't know. The Rams, they have a chance to beat the Bucs. I think they match up well with the Bucs on paper. I mean, they get Cam Akers back too, which is a story in and of itself. How remarkable is that? Tore his Achilles in July, comes back for the playoffs less than a year later. He's ready. With Sony Michel in the backfield, I mean, the Bucs have a good defense. We'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, this will be a good game tonight. ESPN Monday night Super Wildcard Weekend. Way to end off this weekend, which was filled with blowouts, close games, bad calls. You name it, they had it this weekend. And I hope that goes forward in the divisional round. This has definitely been one of the most interesting NFL seasons of all time. And I really don't think there's a clear-cut winner for the Lombardi Trophy this year.
Yeah. I mean, no. I think the playoffs. This is a good season for the playoffs here.
This is definitely one of the best seasons. Patriots are out.
Right.
I mean, Tom Brady still going strong, I guess. We'll have to wait and see on that. But, yeah, this is going to be definitely an interesting NFL season. So, yeah, I think that's just about it. Those are the big stories we wanted to cover today. Is there anything else you want to add on before we wrap up the show?
Yeah, I think the last thing we should do real quick is make some predictions.
Predictions. All right, I will be down for that.
I
So
mean, I mean, we've already predicted Rams Cardinals here,
right,
and
we're
there's
pre-predicting the NBA Martin Luther King Jr. games.
we can predict those too. Let's stick in the NFL real quick
All right, all right.
before we go to the NBA. But yeah, we already predicted the game tonight. Let's look at the divisional round though for next
All
week
right.
because considering how our schedule is, at least for now with these podcasts, we probably will not be able to talk again until after those games.
Right.
So let's just see. Bengals Titans. I think the Titans are definitely favored, but
Yes.
I like the Bengals. I don't know why. I
I
like
like
the
the
Bengals.
Bengals too. I just think if Derrick Henry comes back, I'm gonna say the Titans win a close game. 24-21. I think the Titans win on a game-winning field goal. I think the Bengals play close throughout, but I don't think.
I
this
think
year's their
honestly,
year.
this will be one of those games where like the very beginning of the game will set the
Yeah,
tone for it. I
definitely.
think like if Joe Mixon right off the start like does well, if Joe Burrow does well, like right off the start, if the Bengals are doing well,
I think if
I
Joe
think
Burrow wins this game, I think he solidifies himself as in that category with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes as the best quarterbacks in the AFC.
really
Yeah, I mean he's had
had a great year.
he had a great year. I mean, and this would be the time to do it if he wants to solidify himself. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, they both have multiple playoff wins under their belt.
Mhm.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes beat Josh Allen in the playoffs last year,
Mhm.
but Joe Burrow has a chance to take down a very good Tennessee team who's still got the one seed with all the injuries they've had this season. And I think he can do it. I'm still going to
Yeah.
go Titans here. Ryan
I'm
Tannehill,
taking the
veteran
Bengals.
quarterback. You're taking the Bengals.
Yeah,
All right.
same score too.
Same score,
24-21.
24-21. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals.
All right. I guess the next game here would be the 49ers and Packers.
Yeah, speaking of good quarterbacks,
Aaron Rodgers playing
yeah,
here.
I like the 49ers with Debo Samuel, but I think the Packers are they're just too good, honestly.
This is definitely going to be interesting. The Packers have not lost at home this year. However, in the playoffs, the San Francisco 49ers are 3-0 against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. So will that trend continue? I don't know. The 49ers, West Coast team, they're going up into Lambeau. It's going to be frigid, and snow's probably going to be falling. I think
I would definitely take the Packers here.
I think I'm going to go with the Packers here. This is the divisional round, not the NFC Championship. The Packers, I think they'll get a win here. I think the 49ers offense will put up some points. I mean, I know the Packers are getting all these players back. David Bakhtiari, Jair Alexander, they're all coming back for the Packers. I think they can win here. I'm going to go 34-27. I think the 49ers offense puts up some points there.
I think the Packers I don't think it's going to be like a blowout per se,
yeah,
but I do think the Packers are going to kind of like run away with it
that's how I'm feeling towards this game too. I mean, I think it's going to have a similar feel to the Cowboys 49ers game, which we saw yesterday. Yeah. I think, but in the Packers' favor this time. And then
we can't talk about the Bucks because we don't know who they'll go against. I think the Rams would have a chance. If the Cardinals went in,
I don't think the Cardinals have a chance against the Bucks.
I don't know. I mean I think if the Cardinals were there would definitely be like a lot of hype for it with Kyler Murray, Tom Brady. But
it would be.
But I don't like the Cardinals in that matchup. But given another week though, if DeAndre Hopkins were to play tonight, or even if he weren't, if he were to play next week, I think.
I don't think the Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals have a lot of big ball, deep play kind of offense with the run game mixed in there. I don't think they get the run game going against that Buccaneers team.
Yeah, I would take the Bucks.
I would take the Bucks.
Either of these teams, but I think the Rams would be closer than the Cardinals. But I think both of them could make it.
Both of them could win. I'm going to go Bucks. Both of them. I think if the Bucks play the Cardinals,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the Bucks win 27-14. I don't think it's close. If the Rams play, I'm gonna go 27-31. I think the Bucks pull up Tom Brady magic game-winning touchdown here. Tom Brady moves on to the NFC Championship and trying to get to his second Super Bowl with the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
All right.
And finally, Bills Chiefs. I'll make my prediction first, so you can leave off on a happy note for yourself.
Right. Uh-huh.
I don't think the Bills are gonna win. I think what's gonna happen is the Bills are gonna come out gunning. I think they're probably gonna lead at halftime, and the Chiefs are gonna win it. I just don't see them, like, I want to say the Bills can have have a good shot here, but honestly, like, and even though on paper they do, honestly I just don't see the Chiefs losing. I think they didn't live up to their own expectations in the regular season, but I think they want to come back here and win it and win the Super Bowl overall. So like I don't think they're too concerned about the Bills. I think I take the Chiefs in this one.
Well, if the Chiefs aren't concerned about the Bills, that might be a cause for concern. I know Sean McDermott will get the troops rallying. I mean, if you want to talk about the Chiefs not living up to their expectations for the season, the Bills sure as hell didn't. We lost to the Jaguars. We got blown out by the Indianapolis Colts. We lost in a heartbreaker to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That freezing game against New England. We made up. We're on a revenge tour here. New England lost. We lost to New England in Buffalo. What did we do? We put up 7 for 7.
There's a COVID outbreak, Brennan. The tour's getting cut short,
right.
man.
Oh, is there? I already checked. Cole Beasley already had COVID. We're fine.
Tour's getting cut short, man. Mm-hmm. They're not going to win it.
Remember what happened last year? AFC Championship. Stephon Diggs standing on that sideline, watching the Chiefs celebrate the Hunt Trophy, come back to them. They're going to use that as motivation. That picture of Stephon Diggs looking at the Chiefs better be hung around the entire Bills training facility this week. Use that for motivation. Go into Arrowhead for a second time this season and blow out the Chiefs. I'm going Bills on top. I think it's closer. I think the defense does struggle a bit against the Chiefs offense. I'm going 42-40. Bills pull out a win. Tyler Bass redeems himself, gets a game-winning field goal. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills move on to face the Tennessee Titans in the AFC Championship, where they will again have a revenge tour against the Titans and Derrick Henry.
Sure. Well, I hope they lose. I don't want to hear it from you next week. So.
Oh, you'll definitely hear it if they win.
All right. Well, we'll see though. So that's the NFL.
That is the NFL.
Now, current events today. Let's look at the NBA.
Right.
MLK Day.
All right. So the Hawks and the Grizzlies, right? Or is it? No, Hawks and Bucks. Bulls and Grizzlies.
Yeah, Hawks, Bucks, Bulls, Grizzlies. Ton of games today, honestly. I mean, right now as we're recording this, it's probably over by the time it comes out. But
right. I mean,
Pelicans are beating the Celtics at half.
Yep.
Hornets are playing the Knicks. And
34-30.
Actually, let's see real quick if Cam Reddish is playing. No, he's not.
Not today.
So.
All right. Well, you got the 76ers or Wizards. That game is coming up in 15 minutes.
Yeah. No, yeah. But for those two big primetime games, let's look at it. It's you said it's Bucks Hawks, right?
Bucks Hawks and Bulls Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm. Or on TNT. The Hawks have had a horrible year.
Right. There's no reason to bet against the Milwaukee Bucks this year. I think
the
Bucks,
yeah. Especially on MLK, you got the excitement. You got more of a crowd. You probably got more of a crowd than almost any other regular
Eastern Conference Championship last year. I think the Bucks win. I don't think the Hawks have it in them this year, as we talked about earlier in the show. I think the Bucks
and
win.
MLK Day, other than Christmas, this is the NBA holiday. So
right, yeah.
So they're probably going to get more eyes on them than they have like in most of their other regular season games all season. So the Bucks will win. The Hawks will falter. Atlanta will be sad. But that said, the celebrations in Atlanta before the game, proceedings for the game will be great. There will be
Yeah,
some great
definitely a
honoring of
historic
Dr. Martin Luther
city
King,
for Martin Luther King Jr.
and but they're gonna
But
lose. So.
yeah, that'll be crushed. But
And
anyways,
then
yeah, a more interesting game: the Chicago Bulls and the Memphis Grizzlies. Both teams playing pretty well as of late. Uh, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna take the Grizzlies at home. I think John Morant.
Bulls playing significantly less well as of late.
Right.
In a 3-game losing streak,
Mm-hmm.
but they've had a good season overall.
Yeah,
And,
I'm still gonna go Grizzlies here. I think they can pull out a win. MLK Day, and you know.
Do you know the timetable for Zach LaVine? Honestly, I don't.
I do not.
Zach LaVine timetable. Is he ever coming back?
What? No structural damage to knee on Bulls guard Zach LaVine, so I don't think he's definitely out today.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's out today. But no, I mean, the Grizzlies though they have had good games recently.
Yeah, I mean,
they lost.
History.
Yeah, they did lose a couple days ago.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna pick the Grizzlies here
against
against the Bulls. That game.
I think John Morant is going to shine today on MLK Day.
Yeah.
Shine tonight and get the win for.
Boost those
the
TV
Grizzlies.
ratings. Have some NBA superstars ball out.
In Memphis, Tennessee, I think they're gonna. He's gonna get that win. So.
Yeah, I'm going with Grizzlies too. There's a lot of other games on today. None of them as important.
I mean, none of them are really important. They're just going to be fun to watch, honestly.
Be fun. Nets playing the Cavaliers. That'll be interesting. See if the Cavs can continue playing fairly well. They're going up against a tough test. Kyrie Irving will be playing today as the game is not in New York. I'll be interested to see what happens there. Yeah. All right. Well, that'll conclude our show for today. Thank you guys so much for watching the first episode of our podcast. I got to go and edit all of this now. I'll have...
Yeah, and there doesn't need to be much editing.
No, you just got to take the clips and put them all together, add some music into the background. You know, you got yourself a VOD for YouTube. This podcast should be going up on Spotify, so make sure you tune into that. Make sure to follow our Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube, follow our podcast, everything.
Follow us on all platforms,
also,
please.
Enter the naming contest, and your name will be chosen. We don't know when we're going to choose one. It depends on the amount of entries we get in the amount of time.
I want it to be sooner than later.
Sooner than later, though. Yes, I agree.
I don't like our name right now. We also don't have a logo. We can't get a logo for Unnamed.
We're sitting here like the Washington football team, nameless. Even they're coming up with it. We don't want this to drag on for a year.
We need it.
Let's get our name out before the Washington football team releases theirs. Anyways, yeah. Signing off from the Unnamed Sports Podcast, the pilot episode 1. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you soon. Well, hopefully next time with a name. All right. Peace out, guys.